Hello everyone. In our previous video, we had analyzed a Cloud Kitchen sample dataset using Python, and we used library pandas and its functions to analyze the data in Python. So in this video, we'll be doing a different thing. We'll be using a different library uh, for analyzing the dataset, which is called PivotTable.js. So in this library, it's kind of a mini BI tool, maybe like a pivot chart or Tableau or Power BI kind of thing, where we can drag and drop different columns and just create different charts. Maybe I want a simple pivot table, or maybe if I want a bar chart, we can do all of these aggregations over here. And while we'll be doing some similar kind of questions related to pandas, where we had group by and some filters out of it, PivotTable.js is specifically used only for visualizing the data. So we won't be able to do any calculations over there, but only visualizing the data over there. So for this, I'll just quickly go to the data set which we are going to analyze. So this is the data sample data set which we are going to analyze. Here, how the data structure is. Suppose I'm a customer who has ordered food. So let's start from a custom ID. I have been given custom ID. I've ordered 3 items: cheese skewers, Oreo cheesecake, and ultimate the Wook sandwich. Uh, and here is my order ID. And I have ordered on this particular date, and it has went to the cloud kitchen named Whitefield, and just took this much time to prepare. And I would ordered this food through a partner, delivery partner two, and I've ordered from a restaurant which has a brand 4 over here. And my final bill of the total I order is 175. So this is for one customer, and supposedly this complete data has for multiple custom IDs and multiple orders. And we'll definitely have duplicate records because there are different items over here. But the final bill is aggregated to a particular order ID. So this is the data, and we'll be answering few questions out of it. So we'll be looking at 5 questions over here, which is the most popular item, which partner had made the most orders, which brand is most popular, which kitchen take the longest and the shortest time to prepare, and the distribution of the final bill by brand. So we'll be looking at these 5 questions using the PivotTable.js. So I'll quickly come to uh, the Jupyter Notebook. So I open this thing by opening the Jupyter Notebook. I have just renamed the file as PivotTable.js, and we'll quickly just go through over here. So the first thing, I'll be following the similar steps which I had done earlier while explaining the pandas video. So here I'll be importing the library over here. So I'll just write import pandas as PD. So PD is an alias. If I want to use any functions from pandas, I don't have to write the complete thing. I can just write PD over here. And for running this line, I'll just press Shift Enter. And once I press Shift Enter, it will show me an star. Once it's run, it will show me the line number which it is run. All right, so I've imported the pandas data frame as PD. Now my next step is to read the file. So for reading the file, I'll be storing this file into a data frame, which is called data. And I'll just be reading the same file, pd.read underscore Excel. This is the function over here. And my file is in the same folder where I've created this Python file. So my Python file is here, and my data file is also over here. So I'll be calling that same data file. I'll just press tab and it will try to give me some options over here. And here is my data. And I'll just put the sheet name, sheet 1, and press Shift plus Enter. So it will read all the data and store it in data frame. So if I want to look at top 5 columns, I can just put data dot head, and it will show me the first 5 rows over here. So I have the same data over here. Now my first question is, I want to called PivotTable.js. So what I'll be doing is here, I'll be importing a function called pivot_UI, which will help me to create this visualization. So what I'll be doing, I'll write from PivotTable.js import pivot_UI. So make sure that PivotTable.js is already installed in your Anaconda environment before you do it. So if you want to install this and uh, you're not able to run this command, then you can just go to Anaconda prompt and it will open the terminal over here, and I can just type pip install PivotTable.js. So once I enter this command, it will load the PivotTable.js and then install it in our environment. And if it's already there, it will show that its requirement is already done. So if you have any libraries which you want to use and it's not working out, then you can try to install that. So here I've already installed, so I'll just skip that step and I'll just move on to your. So import pivot UI and then I'll run this. Let's run this. Now I want to just visualize this data to find the answers to my question. So I'll just write pivot table, pivot_UI and bracket. I'll write my data frame which I want to use for this visualization. I'll press shift enter. When I do this, it will open user interface where I can create different things. So here it gives me option if which kind of chart or visualization do I want to create, from table to bar chart, heat map and all. And here I have different aggregation which I can use if I want to count unique values, do a sum, average, median, and so on and so forth. And here I have different columns which I can drag and drop anywhere where I want to keep. So this is the column in the rows tab, which is over here. So let's move to the first question over here. So I'll just quickly go here. This is for the displaying top 5 rows. And the first question which we're trying to answer is which is the most popular item. So for the most popular item, I'll just drag and drop the item name over here, count. So I'll be counting the unique values of each order ID. And it is counting for each item how many orders have been there, and I'll just sort it using descending order, and I find that okay, this is the French fries, which is the most number of orders, which is 8. So this is the first question out of it. Now if we move to the second question, which partner had the most orders? So now what we can do is simply remove the item name and put the partner name over here, and we'll find the same interface over here, partner 2, partner 3, and partner 1, 17, 13, and 4 orders. Let's move to third question. Which brand is the most popular? And here we can take the brand and remove the partner name. And based on brand, we get this thing. So this visualization can be reused multiple times depending on the use case. Um, the fourth question is which kitchen takes the longest and the shortest time? So for this, we need to do a calculation to get the time over here. So I'll just quickly move to the tech over here. So if you notice in our previous video, we had done this most popular item and few questions using the pandas data frame and its functions like group by. So here if you notice, we had group by item name, order ID, and then the count. Here we're just dragging drop and doing this thing. So I'll just quickly move to the place where we are calculating the field. So now if I want to calculate the shortest and longest time, first I need to calculate the difference between the order date and the prepared date. So for this, what we are doing is we are using the function of pd.time delta, which will calculate the time difference between T2 and T1 and give it us in seconds, and then we can divide it by 60 to get it in minutes. And this is the whole field which we need. So we'll be using this same function, and we had even went through the pandas apply function where we used a lambda function to execute this time function over all the commands, all the row records from a data frame. So we'll be doing the same thing. So over here, what I'll do, I'll just add one more line, and I'll just type data dot apply, and I want to apply this function lambda. My input variable is x, and I want to take this function pd dot time delta, and I want to take x dot so here I want to take my prepared date and subtract it with my order date. And copy this. Um, After using this function, I want the answers in seconds, and I want to divide it by 60 so that I can have this thing. And I want to run this command for each record. So when I put access one, it will give me that answer. So let's run and see what is our variables. Okay, it is giving me in minutes 10.33. If you notice, it's different, taking a difference between 151 and 141 and giving us the answers. We'll just save this complete column in a new column name. So I'll just create time diff over here, and I'll just run this command. Once I run this, I have the data time diff as another column over here. And the next thing which I need to analyze the same data, and I can use the pivot underscore UI. But here I don't need each and every record over here. I need only the kitchen names. So what I'll be doing, I'll be taking data, and to get multiple columns, I have put two brackets over here. The first thing which I need is kitchen name, and the second thing which I need is time underscore difference. And I don't want any duplicate records, so I'll just use this function called drop duplicates. And when I run this, I get this. Now the next step I want is I want to take an average of it so that I can know which kitchen takes the longest and shortest time. So I'll just copy this, and in this pivot table, pivot UI, I'll just put this. So it will help me to analyze this data. Now the simple step what I need to do is I'll take the kitchen name over here and take the time difference as an average of time difference. And I'll just sort it in descending order. And here is how I get Boris Canal and all the different fields over here. So pivot underscore UI, we can use any different kind of the data frames over here. And it is just used as a visualization tool. We can't do any calculations. That's the reason we had done all the calculation beforehand and then got the final data over here to visualize it. And if you notice, we had run the same command over here and analyze the data. So here is the answer which we had got using the pandas different commands using group by and unique. And here is the same thing which we are getting by dragging and just dropping the command. Now the next step, next question we'll be moving on is distribution of final bill by brand. So we'll be doing the same thing. So for final bill by brand, we need the to complete bill amount. So I'll just create, I'll just edit this data. So what I need over here is I need the brand name. So I'll take the brand name over here and I take the second is the order ID, which I'll be using. And the third thing which I need from here is the final bill. So why am I taking this and doing the drop duplicates? Because it will every time add each of them. If I want to take an average or sum of it, it will take the final bill amounts and then add it up. So that's the reason I'm just taking for each order ID and brand name, I'm taking the complete final bill value. So when I run this command, you'll see for this particular order ID is giving me only one value for brand 4. So here I can just aggregate the brand name and take the sum of final bill. So I'm just taking this complete command over here, and I'll just replace it in pivot underscore UI and run this. And here I go. Here we put the brand name over here and we need the sum of the final bill amount. And here we have the final bill amount. So if you go to our previous solution, we had done the same thing. We had took this complete data and remove the duplicates and then use the group by function to get the answer. And here's the same answer which we get from here. So this is a very quite simple and easy way to use pivot underscore UI to drag and drop different columns and do our aggregations. It will help us do quite in a easy way and a simple, fast way. Here, if you need any charts which you want to put it in our presentation, we can do this, let's say a table bar chart or maybe a horizontal bar chart. So it will give us a visualization which we can take a screenshot and use it in our text. So how is this useful is, for example, if you have a very large data set which is very difficult to handle in Excel and taking time, then you could directly use it in Python, extract the data and use PivotTable.js to create the visualization and analyze the data so that you can put the visualization in text much easier and faster. So great. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.